Welcome to The Human Curious. If you love exploring the mysteries of the universe, make sure to subscribe, share, and like this video. I don't think people understand the true power of the stars. The night sky was once a storybook. This book was written in fire. Its words were the stars themselves, each a burning syllable. People looked up. They saw patterns. They saw beasts and heroes, gods and monsters. These were not mere imaginings. They were truths, felt deep in the bones. The Zodiac, 12 houses of the celestial, 12 keepers of fate, or so the old tales whispered. The ancients knew. They felt a power thrumming from above. Aries, the ram, was not just a constellation. He was a primal spark, a fierce beginning. Taurus, the bull, was the earth itself, stubborn and strong. Each sign was a presence, a being of immense, forgotten power. They watched, they waited. Imagine a world where these whispers were not just folklore. Imagine the awe, imagine the terror. If these beings, these celestial titans, were to stir from their cosmic slumber, the sky would crack open, the old magic would return, raw and untamed, the stars themselves alive and breathing. Long ago the lines were blurred, between the stars and the gods, between the heavens and the earth. Ancient civilizations did not see the zodiac as abstract concepts, they saw them as divine entities. The Babylonians mapped the sky with reverence. The Egyptians looked to Nut, the sky goddess, her body a canvas of constellations. These were the homes of the gods, their influence palpable. They built temples to these celestial powers, they offered sacrifices, they chanted prayers to the ram, the bull, the twins. They believed these beings held sway over human destiny. Astrology then was not a parlor game. It was a sacred science, a way to understand the will of these vast conscious forces. The Greeks wove intricate myths. Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, their stories were often tied to the constellations. The sky was a pantheon, vast and glittering. The zodiac signs were more than just markers in the sky. They were sleeping giants, ancient divinities. The first signs would be subtle, almost dismissible. A strange shimmer in the night sky where Aries should be, a feeling of unease, a prickling on the skin when looking at the constellation of Taurus. Astrologers, the few who still held to the old ways, would notice first. Their charts would go haywire. Predictions would fail spectacularly. The stars would seem to sing a different song, a discordant melody that spoke of immense change. Scientists would scoff, of course. Solar flares, atmospheric disturbances, they would say. Rational explanations for a world growing increasingly irrational. But the omens would grow. Animals would become restless. Birds would fly in strange patterns or not at all. Whales would beach themselves, their ancient songs silenced. The tides would become erratic, not following the moon's gentle pull, but a wilder, more primal rhythm. People would dream strange dreams. Then the day, or perhaps the night, the sky would not just shimmer, it would break, not like glass, but like a dam bursting. Light, raw and unfiltered, would pour through, and in that light, shapes. Immense, terrifying, beautiful shapes. Aries, a being of pure fire, a ram wreathed in stellar flames, his cry a shockwave. Taurus, a colossal bull formed of earth and starlight, his hooves shaking the very foundations of the continents. They would not arrive subtly, they would arrive as gods, as forces that had shaped galaxies. Their descent would be an event that dwarfed all of human history. Imagine them, Gemini, two luminous figures ever shifting, their voices a chorus of whispers and shouts. Cancer, a colossal crab-like entity, armored in moonlight, carrying the scent of ancient oceans. They would not need spaceships or portals, they would simply hear, stepping from the tapestry of the night sky onto the fragile surface of our world. Their scale would be unimaginable, their power a tangible thing, pressing down on everything. Gap 1S. But before we delve deeper into the celestial tapestry, let's take a moment to ponder. Imagine standing beneath the vast night sky, each star a potential harbinger of ancient power. What zodiac sign do you think would be the most powerful celestial being? Aries, with its fiery resolve, Taurus, the unyielding foundation, or perhaps another sign holds the key to ultimate power? Gap 1S. Let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts and theories could unveil new perspectives on these cosmic entities. Gap 2S. Now, let's continue our journey through the stars. Section 5, Aries and Taurus, the ram's fire, the bull's foundation. Aries, the ram, first of the zodiac. He would be pure, unadulterated energy, a being of fire and impulse. Imagine a warrior god, wreathed in stellar flames, his horns like molten gold. His power would be that of beginnings, of raw creation, of unstoppable force. Where he walked, new things might spring into existence, violent and sudden, or old things might be consumed by his fiery presence, making way for the new. His personality would be impatient, courageous, perhaps even reckless. A primal shout in the silent void. He would demand action, not contemplation. His influence would be felt immediately. A surge of ambition, of daring in those attuned to his nature. Conflicts might flare, ignited by his martial spirit, but also incredible breakthroughs, moments of sudden inspiration. He would not be a gentle god. He would be a catalyst, a force that shattered stagnation. His voice, if he chose to speak, would be like the crack of thunder. He would be the spark that starts the blaze. Section 6, Gemini and Cancer, whispers and tides, the twins and the crab, Gemini. The twins, two forms, or perhaps one that shifts and splits, beings of air and intellect. Imagine luminous figures, quicksilver and restless, their outlines never quite settling. Their power would be that of communication, of knowledge, of duality. They could instantly transmit thoughts across vast distances or sow confusion with a whisper. They might hold all the libraries of the world in their minds and yet be fascinated by the smallest, newest idea. Their personalities would be curious, adaptable, witty, but also perhaps fickle and prone to mischief, the eternal dance of opposites. Their arrival would flood the world with information. Secrets would be laid bare. Languages would become fluid, perhaps even obsolete as direct mental communication became possible. They might inspire incredible bursts of innovation. Section 7, Leo and Virgo, the lion's roar, the maiden's order. Leo, the lion, a being of pure solar fire, regal and magnificent. Imagine a colossal lion, mane ablaze with the light of 1,000 suns. His roar, a symphony of power and authority. His power would be that of leadership, of creativity, of radiant self-expression. Where he trod, inspiration would bloom like sunflowers turning to their master. He could ignite courage in the hearts of the faint-hearted, or demand adoration with a flick of his fiery tail. His personality would be proud, generous, charismatic, but also potentially arrogant and attention-seeking. The king of the celestial court demanding his due. His arrival would be a spectacle, a grand performance. He would inspire great works of art, heroic deeds, and perhaps grand, dramatic conflicts. Leaders would rise, imbued with his confident aura, or crumble under the weight of his majestic presence. He would encourage joy, celebration, and the bold pursuit of one's passions. Section 8. A shattered cosmos. Humanity's new dawn, or dusk. The return of the Zodiac beings would shatter our understanding of everything. The universe, once a vast, indifferent expanse of gas and rock, would reveal itself as a conscious, living entity. Science would face an existential crisis. How do you measure the will of a god made of starlight? How do you predict the actions of beings who defy the known laws of physics? New disciplines would arise, a strange fusion of astrophysics and theology, of quantum mechanics and ancient mysticism. The cosmos would be alive, and humanity a very small part of a much grander, more terrifying play. Astrology, long relegated to the back pages of newspapers, would become the most vital of sciences, not the simplistic sun sign columns, but the ancient, complex art of interpreting the will of these immense powers. Astrologers would become the new priests, the new interpreters of divine intention. Their charts, once curiosities, would become maps to survival, to understanding the shifting tides of power. The stars would no longer be distant portents. They would be active participants, their moods and desires shaping daily life in profound and unavoidable ways. Humanity would look to the heavens not just with wonder, but with a desperate need for guidance. Humanity itself would be irrevocably altered. Our place in the universe, once thought to be at the apex, would be drastically redefined. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below. Section 9. Conclusion. The stars alive, the world remade. The descent of the Zodiac beings would be an ending to our comfortable illusions, an ending to our self-imposed solitude in a silent universe. But every ending is also a beginning, a terrifying, unpredictable, and utterly transformative beginning. The world, remade by the touch of living stars, would be a place of raw magic, of palpable divinity, of dangers and wonders beyond our wildest imaginings. The mundane would be forever infused with the mythic. The sky would no longer be a distant canvas, but a living, breathing presence, intimately connected to the fate of the earth. Humanity would be forced to look up, not just with telescopes, but with a new kind of vision. A vision that acknowledges the consciousness woven into the fabric of creation. We would learn humility. We would learn awe. We might even learn to speak the language of the stars.